Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Surprise Guest with Pia Arcangel. It's a very special episode. This is our Father's Day episode, a tribute to all dads out there. No matter what kind of dad you are, what situation you're in, how old your kids are, this episode is for you. So happy Father's Day to all of you and welcome once again to Surprise Guest with Pia Arcangel. And at this point, I'm just gonna find out who our guests are. Oh, wow! Before I even finish my intro, they're here. Okay, our surprise guests are Jimmy Alapag and LJ Moreno-Alapag, none other than Mr. and Mrs. Alapag. It's so good to have you on the show. Thanks for saying yes and being with us.
No, absolutely.
Of course.
Good to see you.
Yes.
It's great to see you. You know, when they said that the guests are in the US, they're based in the US, and then they said it's a couple, I was like, oh, I hope it's Jimmy and LJ. I really hope it's Jimmy and LJ. First of all, I'll just ask how you guys are. It's been a while. How long have you been in the States already? You left during pandemic, diba?
Yes, it'll be 4 years in September.
Almost 4 years.
Believe it or not.
Oh, so you left 2020.
It was a time where nobody could leave. The only reason I was able to leave was because him and the kids are US citizens. It was that time. So there's nobody in the airport. Even in LAX when we arrived.
Oh.
Strange time.
It was really it was in the middle of the pandemic.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that you guys left because, Jimmy, you had work in the US, right? You were offered work in the US.
No, initially there were plans for me to join the NBA G League when we left Manila. And then there was also a college offer. But the only problem was when we did get here towards the end of 2020, we were still kind of in the middle of COVID. And so it didn't push through at that time. So definitely a lot of challenges when we moved back, to say the least.
So the move was really just to find new opportunities.
Part of it was to try to chase an opportunity to be in the NBA. I just felt like, even despite, COVID, it was a dream of mine to continue to grow in this coaching, profession. And at the same time, for me, it was a chance to be close to my parents. They'd gone through some health issues, going back to even before 2020. And so it was a chance for our family to be closer.
And it was the first time in how many years that you weren't tied up with any team?
Yeah, and because of the lockdown, it was the first time that I didn't have any ties. And that obviously during COVID there were no sports in the Philippines, and so we figured, why not, take our shot to try to get into the NBA. And so luckily luckily the wife agreed.
God helped him.
God put it on LJ's heart to listen and to follow.
Yeah, that was really God talaga, because even my friends were like, how did he convince you? Because even before, when we come here for vacation, I'm like, yeah, after 2 weeks, I'm ready to go. Like I say, I expire. I want to go home to Manila.
Yeah, I gotta share the quick story. So we left September of 2020. A CN Basketball League season had ended abruptly, probably early April.
It was lockdown.
March, April. So so we waited a few months, and obviously nothing was happening. That was the first time I kind of brought up the idea. I said, hey, what if we try to move back, be close to the family, and at the same time, it's an opportunity for me to try to chase, an opportunity in the NBA. Initially, not having it, like absolutely not. You were out of your mind.
It was like, he's just bored.
So Pia, a few weeks goes by, and and I'm like, hey, I know we talked about it a few weeks ago, and again, there's nothing, sports, coaching. I was already retired. It's something that we really need to think about. You were out of your mind. I told you 2-3 weeks ago it wasn't gonna happen. Stop talking about it. So now she's upset. And so it gets to the point, she says, you know what? I don't want to hear about moving to the US unless you get any job offer in the States for coaching. Pia, it was the middle of the pandemic. So there were no sports like anywhere in the world. So I remember I sat in our dining room and I said, this is impossible, because where am I going to get a job offer where there is absolutely no sports in the world? I'd connected with some people, former coaches that were here in the US. And my old high school coach, who was now at a junior college, I had spoken to him maybe a month before. And I said, hey, coach, after 19 years, the family and I might be moving back. He said, oh, that's great. Well, reach out when you get here to the US. So after that last conversation, we were literally not talking for 2 days. And, because I
was busy, because I had a cake shop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right before lockdown, I started the pandesal. That was the time where ube pandesal was it. So, business was good. We were busy. Like I
She
gave
was
up.
busy.
I was busy.
I was not.
He ended up being my like he would package pandesal for me.
Yeah, it was.
May arguments pa kami because he wanted to package a certain way. I'm like, it's pandesal, just and he's like, this is my space. Because
So I was
No.
gonna ask if the 2 days of no talking, if there was any animosity at all. But
No, definitely. I mean, especially for my part, Pia, because I was thinking more open-minded, like, hey, this might be the perfect opportunity to try my luck and find a way to get to the NBA. It's a chance to be close to family. And again, with COVID and the pandemic, I just didn't want, we had our 3 kids at the time. We have our 4th now. I didn't want them just being in lockdown and being locked up in the house. And so I wouldn't say animosity, but I definitely felt like, man, I hope she's a little bit more open-minded to the idea. And so by 2 days later, we're having breakfast. It's like 6:30 in the morning. It's just her and I. We're in our dining room. And I'm telling you, Pia, we're sitting there. She's not talking to me. I'm not talking to her. And I get a text message. And it's my old high school coach who's now a college coach here. And he sends me a message. And I'm literally looking at my phone. And basically the message said, hey, Jimmy, listen, so great to hear that you and the family might be coming back to the States after all these years. This was July. He said, we're planning to start our season in November. If you're interested, I have a lead assistant position on my staff. It's yours if you want it.
wow.
Yeah, when I tell you, I'm like showing LJ my phone. Like, you got to read this. And she read it and she was like, she's like, my goodness, God has to be, on your side.
wait, I still have to pray about it.
Akala ko when you saw the message, tapos ng laban.
No, ano pa? Wait lang, I'll still pray about it.
But sure enough, that was probably mid-July, and by second week of September, we were
And it was crazy because, like, of course we prayed about it, and then even my friend here, who's a realtor, is like, "So when are you planning?" I said, "I don't know. We still have to sell the house, and then I had my shop. We still have to sell the unit where the shop is and all that stuff." But that all happened within like a week,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow,
Yeah,
that
the shop
fast?
went during the pandemic, ha. So parang okay. So
Oo.
my cousin was like, you keep saying you're gonna praying about it. Like I feel like God is like directing you that way na. So yeah, then I was like, okay, all right, I guess this is what we're gonna do. So
Wow, but that's really the best way to explain it, not the way things alter, not God's hand working in every big and small thing.
yeah.
But the way you were talking about it, Jimmy, it sounds like you had been trying to convince LJ a couple of times already before to move to the US.
For
Yes.
sure.
Ano, when he first tried, when he was first invited by the Kings,
Yep.
2019. So he talked like he's so excited, ganyan, ganyan. He's like, yeah, eventually. Just like, okay, whatever. We're not.
Trying to hold your ground.
That was like my thing. That was prior pandemic pa.
Yep.
Oh. But was there ever a time that the two of you lived already together in the US before?
No.
No.
We met
No.
in the.
Oh, okay.
I lived here when I was 5 years old. Then I moved to Manila when I turned 95. That's when I
Okay.
started Vista and everything, and I've been there since.
Ever since.
Yeah, I met him through the PBA because of Rufa May. That's the only reason I was exposed to the PBA. Yeah.
And that's how you met. But
It was her.
I actually want to go back to your love story later. But I will ask first about life now in the US because I've seen your posts. They're the best. I love your post when you were trying to catch your flight from New York back to LA.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And your daughter was talagang annotating on your phone saying that
It's
you're
so
running
funny.
back to the terminal.
Yeah. I kept telling, because I thought she was watching something, because I was, panicking. And I'm like, Jonah, put it down. Ganyan, ganyan. I didn't know. She edited I saw that like the day after we arrived here. So yeah, it's been, I always say like moving to the States has, showed me some superpowers I did not know I had. Because seriously, in Manila, we still have our yayas with my sister, the other ones with my dad. So I told them, sa akin muna while I'm there. for a month." No, but yeah,
Mama needs a break.
yeah. Like I didn't know. Like I always tell Jimmy, like now it's like I said, can you imagine like when P, which is the yaya of our youngest, would be off on set because every Sunday off siya. Parang pag Monday we're just like so tired because we were so tired. And I'm like, that's one yaya. We still had other people helping us. I'm like, now it's like, We do everything, especially when he's in season. Oh my gosh, I'm the driver. Everything.
It's really just the two of you working together. But are you close to other family members? I mean, close geographically.
No, unfortunately, no, because
Could be.
we have family down in Southern California, but it's about a 6-7 hour drive. And
Whoa. Okay.
so it's LJ and I pretty
Yeah, my
much.
sister lived with us, who also lived with us when we were in Manila. Then she had moved here before us.
Mhm.
Then she ended up staying with us again. But then she got married, so then she moved to Southern California again. So
So how is life in the US? I mean, aside from work, but the adjustment for the whole family, did the kids have to adjust, or for them it was just easy peasy, nothing new?
for the kids, it was easy.
Yeah, I mean for the kids it was pretty seamless as far as the transition.
They were young too.
They were younger.
8, 5, and 2 when we moved here.
And so, that was the best part, I think, about us moving during the pandemic, is that they really didn't feel it so much, because when we got here, they were able to go outside and there wasn't any of the lockdown that a lot of kids felt in Manila. So that was probably the best part, but it was a huge challenge for LJ and I, because again, when we moved, things didn't initially pan out for me job-wise with coaching. And then it was just a huge transition for her because we had been in Manila for so long. But at the same time, the challenges, helped us grow. It helped us grow as a couple. It helped us grow as parents. And, again, trusting God's plan for our family. And after that year, I end up getting a call from the Sacramento Kings, and I get an opportunity with their G League team. So we move up here to Sacramento. 2 years later, here I am finishing my first season with the Kings. And, honestly, Pia, the best part about the whole journey, not only being able to do something that I love and something that we had talked about, something we had prayed about all the way back before we left Manila in 2020. Now, here we are in 2024. I'm in the NBA. LJ has done an amazing job just holding down everything here at home with the kids.
And I'm still.
And she's still here. And and being able to have her and the kids be able to experience it with me, whether it was coming to New York and going to Madison Square Garden or coming to all the home games at Golden One, like, it means a lot to me that I'm doing something that I love, but being able to share it with her and having all the kids there, like, they're so excited to come and watch the games and see me behind the bench. And so it's been a huge blessing.
And it's cool because like our 6-year-old plays 2K by one. Yeah, and he sees the actual players, or he'll talk to them.
So the players he plays with on the video games, he sees them in real life.
Yeah, and he's met them, and and the kids have met all the guys, and so again, that part of it just has made all the work and all the challenges worth it, because it's not just a dream of mine, but I'm able to share that with the family, and especially with the kids being so young. Our oldest is now 11. Probably up until about 6 months ago, he didn't want to play basketball. Oh, Dad, it's boring. And I said, okay, no problem. But now that he's about to start middle school and all his friends play, and they found out that, hey, your dad is a coach on the Kings, can we watch a game with you? And now he's like, Dad, I want to play. So, so that
last one that
yeah,
played,
so
right?
that part's been really cool. And again, it's just been a blessing, that something that we prayed about and talked about 4 years ago, and here we are.
So safe to say that the Kings is their favorite team.
Oh, absolutely.
They have no choice.
Absolutely.
I've seen videos also of your little boy who can really shoot.
Yes.
Yes.
How old was he in those
6-year-old.
videos?
He's
Yeah.
6.
He's 6 now, but he started when he was 3.
3. He really loves basketball. And the coolest part is it's just so fun for him, because again, when he comes home, he watches highlights on YouTube. Then he plays PlayStation. And then he comes to the games and he meets the players. And so they're like, hey, what's up, Kalen? And so, it all just kind of connects for him that, hey, these are the guys that I play with on PlayStation. But then, I just saw them last night, or, I had pictures with them. So.
And it's funny because when he was born, Jimmy actually had retired already. He was already coaching. So he never saw Jimmy play in person. But he watches a lot of his highlight videos. So he'll say stuff like, so unfair. So why? Because Kuya used to sit there when Jimmy would have press con or go to the locker room. I'm like, Kaylin, you see NBA players, you're fine.
Yeah. And tell him to wait for daddy to also do press cons in the NBA.
He saw Jimmy on TV. I had posted that, and the commentators were talking about him. He's like, oh my gosh, that is so famous now.
I saw that. And also the one when you were, was it high-fiving or shaking hands with Steph Curry after the game?
Yeah, after the play-in game.
Yeah.
Because I'd had a chance to meet him, Pia, last summer. One of our Kings players was working out with the same trainer that Steph has. And so I actually brought our 6-year-old with me to the workout. And so he got a chance to take a picture with Steph. I had a chance to talk to him for a while. So when I saw him after the game, we'd met each other before. And so, yeah, we just shook hands. And I mean, he's obviously one of the best to ever play. So that I thought that was pretty cool.
That's so cool. This one I have to ask LJ. What's the difference between watching Jimmy play, syempre, the height of his career in the PBA, the Mighty Mouse, you see him running down the court, and then watching him now, he's on the bench, but he's coaching and it's in the NBA.
I'm calmer now. So when I was playing, it was like when he was playing, I would be sometimes I'm more tired, like in the farms. So tired. It was like my emotions, screaming and all that stuff. So I'm a lot calmer now. But like I like you said, it's more like for the kids. I feel like it's really cool that they get to experience, especially your 6-year-old. Because parang, up close, I'm like, okay. Because before, to be honest, I really didn't watch the NBA. I did not. I only watch when Jimmy plays or when Jimmy coaches. I'm not like a big basketball person. It's just I only understand the game because when he was playing, I'm just like, oh my gosh, he should have shot that more or something. Like feeling coach, but then I didn't really understand only when he was playing. So I mean, it's pretty cool that it's an NBA. And just seeing our kids' reaction, well, especially Kalen, because he's the one talaga that really likes watching.
So since you're calmer now, you can actually be friends with the ref, no?
Yeah, I don't even notice. Like I don't even notice it before talaga. Parang
ref, ha? I know what you called. That call was not good, ha?
Yeah.
Jimmy, do you still get to play, like, I mean, even with friends, or do you have a ring at home, a court at home?
So we do have a basketball court in the backyard because our kids wanted one.
And around the house. How many?
And we have like a bunch around the house. I still play from time to time, but it's more just casual with our coaching staff. I've been retired for quite some time, but it's still important to stay fit and stay in shape. So I still work out regularly. I need the energy to chase the kids around when I'm not coaching and not working out with our guys. So yeah, I mean, casual, but nothing to where I can't afford any major injuries at 46 now, so I'm much more careful.
I always ask what the difference is. I mean, which is more difficult, to be actually playing or to be coaching?
I think it's definitely tougher playing.
Oh, really?
Just because
LJ doesn't believe.
Just because you're out there on the court, you're out there competing, and whether it was my time at the PBA or my time with Gilas, and then now seeing these NBA guys up close. It's a lot of work behind the scenes that people don't see. It's a lot of discipline in terms of how the guys take care of their body and how they train and how they rest. And again, just the pressure of winning. The NBA is an environment where it's the best players in the world. And so everybody's looking for an edge. When you're coaching, you do your best to encourage, the players that you work with and help them prepare as best as possible. But at the end of the day, once the game starts, it's out of your control. You're just there to maybe point things out or show something on video. But the game's moving so fast, I think it's tougher to actually be out there and in between the lines.
And the job actually doesn't end at the end of the game or at the end of practice. It's not like you just go to practice, you go to the game. You still have to do your research, your paperwork and things like that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
You're a lot busy.
A lot of long nights because after a game, as part of the coaching staff, you're watching video, you're cutting clips so that you can show the players that you work with the next day or the next morning. So the game may end at 10 o'clock. We'll get home and get the kids to bed by 11:30. And then I'm still up till about 2 or 3 to prepare the video so that when I get to practice at 8, 9 in the morning, it's already ready. So
let's drink coffee. I don't know how he does it. Drink coffee.
But all he needs are your cakes and your sweets.
No, but honestly, Pia, I think that's why it's so important to love what you do. I'm super thankful to be in the position I'm in with the Kings. But it is a lot of work. The game of basketball has been a part of my life for so long. I played for a long time, and now that I'm coaching, it's really a great opportunity to pay it forward. I tell all of our guys, I never played in the NBA, but I'd like to think I was pretty successful when I played as a professional, and so whatever I can do from my personal experience to help them, whether it's something I've experienced, something that I can show them on video. That's really where my teaching points come from. And again, hopefully, the players are getting something out of it and going out there and playing well.
Well, I can imagine because as LJ mentioned, it's very difficult when you're in season. So maybe the biggest adjustment also was having to travel to and from the house. I mean, because when you say travel during the season, it's not just, punta ka ng Araneta or punta ka ng MOA.
Oh my
Diba?
gosh.
It's like cross country, and that's how many days at a time or how many weeks at a time.
Honestly, Pia, she
longest stretch was like over 2 weeks. Was it?
yeah, I think our
Wow.
biggest trip this past season was, I think we had 7 games over 14 days.
Wow.
But again, that's why, I'm lucky to have Superwoman here at home taking care of the kids.
Not all the wives, because some of the wives went to New York, but they left their kids with like their parents. They some took their kids to different states to leave them with their parents. And then I was the only one with kids.
Who brought all 4?
4 kids. So they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how'd you do that? Or Jimmy's really lucky because I would never. It's like,
But I'm sure it's an experience that the kids will always remember, diba? It's core memory na for them.
I think one of the coolest experiences this year was for our kids to go to Madison Square Garden, because I had never been there before. And so I was pretty excited, to play against the Knicks, and there's so much basketball history at Madison Square Garden. But for LJ and the kids to go there, they're going to the main entrance, and they're we're like to the locker room, to the court, to the locker room, and then we go back to the hotel or we leave to the airport. But they're walking through the entrance, so the kids were able to just kind of see a lot of the history of people who've performed, people who have played in Madison Square Garden. So they all got a kick out of it after the game. When I was talking to them at the hotel, they're like, "Dada, do you know this, this wrestler or this, this singer, performed at Madison Square Garden?" So again, little stuff like that, like you said, those core memories for the kids is amazing. And LJ has done an amazing job of allowing them to experience all of it. Because even when she's exhausted, Pia, and she'll tell the kids, "Hey, tonight we're not going to go to the game." Like they come home from school, they're like, "Mom,
it's mostly
we have to go to the game."
Caitlin will give me the 6-year-old. He'll be like super sad.
Oh.
Like he's gonna cry. Like, oh my gosh, Caitlin. Okay, fine. Go.
And so you can't leave the other kids at home. You have to take everyone with
Yeah,
you.
and everybody's coming. It's a group trip.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't stop smiling the way you're describing it, because even for me, I mean, I'm like so much older than them. And even to me, it sounds like so much fun and so exciting. LJ, how do you handle all this? I mean, like when Jimmy is busy and you have to, like he said, hold the fort down.
I always say it's really good that before we came here, like prayer and all that stuff, like was really set. Because if not, I probably would have went home already. Like maybe after, like, peace, I'm out. My life is so much better in the Philippines when I go home. It's like, or more comfortable. But yeah, like, so I always say a lot of prayer and a lot of coffee. But like it's important for me to wait. When he's not here, I have to wake up at 5 in the morning. But the thing is, even before we had kids, even in Manila, I would wake up, remember, at 5 in the morning, and I'd have my prayer time outside our balcony in Capitolio, and I hear the church bells ring at like 5. So I've always been a morning person, so that helps a lot. So that when they're still asleep, I can prepare the food, all that stuff. And yeah, it's really just, and I really had to like, time management and all that stuff. Because aside from school, they're all in sports, except for the 1-year-old. But not just one sport. Like our daughter was in cheer, and then now she decided to do basketball. And then Ian, our oldest, was doing football,
now it's baseball and basketball.
Wow.
Dylan, the 6-year-old, buti lang siya. He just wants basketball. Like,
Okay, at least but even basketball alone is medyo mabigat na rin yun, di ba?
yeah,
The
that's
schedule.
no, but the thing is now, all 3 of them are doing basketball. So there's times where we're like at the gym from what time? Like 3:30 if their game's at 4, and then
So 8 o'clock. at
yeah,
night.
so 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And then we have the toddler that now just wants to walk everywhere. And right now he's at the stage where he just wants mama. Like
All the
and
time.
it's like I need a massage because I'm giving to Jimmy and he just wants to come to me. And then so
And so there was a time you were juggling all of this while you were pregnant, because I mean your youngest is 1 year old.
yeah, it was a little easier when I was pregnant just because you
You're
know,
still inside your tummy.
inside. He was still inside.
Yeah. Was
Yeah,
it
and
running
then-
around?
A little, yeah. And then my sister was still here at the time, right? He was still here, yeah. So that helped a lot because at least I don't have to lug everyone. Sometimes I can leave like one of the kids if I have to pick someone up. But when he got promoted to the NBA, that's when the schedule that's when my sister wasn't here anymore. I was like, ay, grabe talaga. And I said, I'm not gonna say I can't do it because I used to say, no, I cannot live in the States. There's no way I can't do it. I said, I'm gonna stop saying that because every time I say that, God shows me that I can. So I'm like, now it's like, oh yeah, I can do it. Kasi baka mamaya anong test na naman eh.
Well, because you're together also, that's why. I mean, I can see the partnership, the teamwork. I mean, how it all comes together. How long have you guys been married?
Oh my goodness, it'll be 14 years in August.
Wow, 14 years. And before that, you were together for how many years?
Almost 4.
Almost 4. Broke up for about 15, 16 months, and then we got back together.
You know what? Can I tell you a secret?
Stay updated with Nelson Canlas,
Nabasted ka na ba?
No.
Oh, ako with confidence ha.
the online source for anything showbiz.
Teka muna Ray ha, meron akong sorpresa sa iyo. Oh, ay!
The latest celebrity news bago pa kumalat para sa ating mga updaters.
7 months mo kinim-kim ito. Bakit ngayon mo lang nailabas?
Aga kong biyak.
Pakitanong po kung ang reason ng breakup ni Carla.
Wow, talagang diretso ha.
Ipagpatuloy mo yung prinsipyo na sa gagawin mo, huwag kang manakit, be fair and be grateful.
Updated with Nelson Canlas.
How long have you guys been married?
Oh my goodness, it'll be 14 years in August.
Wow, 14 years. And before that, you were together for how many years?
Almost 4.
Almost 4. Broke up for about 15, 16 months, and then we got back together.
You know what? Can I tell you a secret? I remember when the news came out that you guys broke up, I was so sad. I mean, I don't know you guys like as a couple personally or whatever, but I remember I was so affected by that, and I was so happy when I found out that you were back together, and then especially when you were getting married. I was like, oh, thank God.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I
Thank you.
remember that. But can you tell us about your love story? Because si LJ already mentioned earlier that you met through Rufa May. You weren't a basketball person, LJ, but you had heard of Jimmy already by the time Rufa May introduced you.
Yeah, it was basically not because of but because of the circle. Like, she was with Rudy, the
At the time, yes.
We just had the same circle of friends, and
Okay.
so we kind of met towards the end of my rookie year, way back in 03.
We met before but you said, but I don't remember. But you said before.
Yeah, we had met briefly. We had met briefly the year before in 2002 when I was just there with the national team, but then I got hurt, and so I ended up coming back before I went back to Manila in 2003 for the draft. But yeah, we dated for about 3.5 years. For us, things were great, but probably the one thing looking back for us in terms of our relationship, we moved in together pretty quick for about 2.5 years, right? We lived together. And at the time we were so young. I was still young. I still had the urge to want to hang out with the guys, and she had different opposing ideas about me hanging out with the guys, and so
Because I was
started
a second
taking-
girlfriend pa lang. I was a second. And let's not talk about ilan na yun.
No, but
Sa kanya na lang.
Sa kanya na lang.
no, but
So
I think
that time.
I think during those 2.5 years, you're young, you take things for granted, and it got to the point where we wouldn't talk much, when we would go to the condo, and so, we just kind of grew apart, and it was crazy because when we did break up, at that time, if you would have asked either of us, we probably would have said, yeah, we're probably not going to get back together. But again, God has ways of, bringing people in and out of your life. And 15, 16 months later, I mean, we literally randomly ran into each other in a month's time, I think 2 or 3 times. Pia, it was like I'm hanging out with, say, Harv and some of the guys, and they would say, hey, let's go here. And I would say, there's going to be too many people. Let's just go here. It's not as crowded. A little quieter. We go there, she's there with her friends. And then like 2 weeks later, The guys would say, "Hey, let's go to this place." Be like, no, let's go to another place. So we'd be there. About an hour later, who walks in with her friends? LJ. And so, then we just kind of started talking, and I think the biggest thing that came out of our conversation was, hey, if we get back together, we have to be a lot more mature about how we go about things. Let's not move in together.
That's why you proposed right away.
No, and also keeping God at the center of our relationship, because again, at the time when we first dated, I don't think that was the case. And so here we are 14 years later, four babies. But again,
The thing, I said, baka kaya napabilis kasi he got tired of, because he would practice in Ateneo, pick me up in Marikina. We'd hang out in Capitolio, right?
Yeah, bring you back.
And bring me back to work. Psycho.
Medyo nakakapagod nga.
Kaya bigla, sige na, pakasal na tayo.
But what were your first impressions of each other? I mean, did you guys think that, parang kumare, Jimmy, syempre when you first met LJ, this pretty actress, and then LJ, Jimmy's this hotshot basketball player. Was it an instant connection?
Sa akin, no. Kasi we played.
Yeah. No.
LJ was the first to
time,
answer.
Yeah, the funniest thing, during my first conference in the PBA, she was actually dating somebody else at the time, and so she was rooting against us.
From the other team.
And proudly we won. For me,
no, and
obviously
he's really good. No, wait, let me add the first. My brothers, because we were waiting by the dugout, and then he actually shook hands with my little. They're adults now, but they were so young, and they were like, "Ate, you were yelling, Alapag so nice pala." He said hi to us. Not because they just meet us. And you like, no.
No, Pia, for me, obviously seeing LJ, she was definitely attractive, but the thing that stood out to me was, when we hung out with everyone, she was just, real chill. Like you could just feel the energy that she had about her, and not only the conversation that her and I had, but just, she's just great to be around. Feeling that, I know for me in particular, you just want to be around that person, more and more. And so it started from there.
Would you say that you gained a newfound appreciation for LJ when you moved to the US?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Thank you.
No, because honestly, Pia, we're thankful to be, where we are now. Again, it was a dream that we talked about before leaving Manila, that my love, I'm going to try to see if I can make it to the NBA. And it was this crazy idea, and nobody had ever done it. And I'm thankful that she saw and she believed in the vision that I had. And we prayed about it. As great as it was for the kids to be pretty seamless in the transition, there were a lot of challenges for her and I. Challenges that we really didn't expect. There were a lot of times when I felt, and we both felt like, I don't know if this is going to work out. Maybe we just go back to Manila. But, I didn't want to quit. I felt like I brought the family here for a reason. We believed in God's plan for us, and we just kept going. Honestly, Pia, maybe 100 times where LJ and I sat down and had conversations and said, I don't know if this is working out how we planned. And again, I'm thankful that we have our circle of friends and family that we could lean on during those times to help us get through. And again, I'm just thankful that she always believed, she always had faith, and she trusted in this vision that I had, that, my love, I can make it to the NBA. I know I can, but getting there is much easier said than done. So, she knows how thankful I am, of her. And now here we are. So, and now we have more babies crying. So.
Well, I'm wondering, Jimmy, how your perspective as a husband and father has changed now that you're in the US and, at the age of 46, still fulfilling your dreams.
No, again, extremely thankful. I think my perspective on, when it comes to being a husband and being, a father to our kids, it's a lot, having 4 young kids. And it just gives me, like I said, a much deeper appreciation for what LJ's doing, because she knows how much I love what I do. But it's not easy for her, because when I go to work and I'm at the gym for 6, 7, 8, 10 hours, she's here again with all the kids, whether it's taking them to school, picking them up, having to run them to all their different practices. So she may have more stress here at home than I have
at the gym.
At the gym. But again, the best part about it is that being able to share what I do with them so that they get a chance to feel and see that, hey, when dad leaves for work, this is where he is and this is where he goes. That's been really, really cool.
LJ, how would you describe Jimmy as a dad and as a husband?
That's one thing with Jimmy. He's very present. No matter how busy he is, he makes sure na, he's there whenever he can be, like for their sports stuff. And when he's at home, he really spends time with them. Like he's the fun parent. I'm the strict parent. He's the fun parent. So I'm waiting till Clayton's like, but I'm okay with that because then they want to hang out with Dada all the time. So,
And then leave mama in the room.
yeah, I think kasi the brother with me all the time. So I'm like the one that, sets the rules and everything. Although there are times where I'm just like, I said no, you gotta be more, we try to meet in the middle, but he's like the cool parent. That's that. He's a great dad. That's one thing that I really like about him. He's really a family man. Husband, he's a great husband. Which yung sa like household stuff, when he's home, in fairness naman, he does the laundry and he'll stay up all night and do the laundry and he folds really well.
Wow! Wait, that's a talent. That's hard
He
to
does.
do, to fold.
Yeah, kasi nilis na ako noong una, I tried folding, tapos sabi niya, I don't fold. So, bahala ka dyan. Ayaw mo pala yung fold ko. Di ko mag-fold. But he really, fixes that.
And Pia, I will tell you, having 4 kids and a wife to do laundry for, it is not easy. On top of doing work, for the Kings, but
That's why
again,
we always joke. I always call them Lourdes, yung Tagalaba namin before. Like, we were like, oh, Dad, we're on top.
but it's funny too because the kids know that I do laundry. Like, the days that I can take them to school, my daughter will be like, Dada, when you get home later, you have to make sure you wash my clothes because I need this. I'm like, I got you, my love. When I go home, I'll wash all your stuff.
Oh, wait, syempre when it's in season, I have to wash. Kasi if I wait for him, wala na. So,
Masyadong tambak na.
yeah. But I'd have to call him, did you wash do you know where the uniform is for? Because
It's a partnership for sure.
yeah.
Wait, I'm curious about how you fold your clothes, Jimmy. You can do it as in mano-mano or you need that parang cardboard plastic thing
No, no, no,
they
no.
use?
He's really good with
No,
folding.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Straight lines and all.
I have to thank my mom and my sisters for that because they used to always get on me as a kid, like, no, you shouldn't have your stuff messy. You fold all your stuff. And so they taught me years ago how to fold my stuff. And so now, I try to have our kids, see their stuff organized. So that when they wake up in the morning, they know what to grab and then, they're off.
He'll fix all their stuff which is how he was before. Like if he'd have games, he'll fix everything in the evening para the next day.
Yeah, the night before.
Ready na.
It's already, wow.
Yeah, I'm opposite. I'm very last minute.
Yes.
Decide what I'm doing. And so he'll, even when we go to church, he's like, my love, can you please pick what you're going to wear? So because he irons also.
Wow.
Wrong with the way I iron, but for some reason, it just stays wrinkled.
And of
So I
course,
don't know.
yeah, on a Sunday, getting ready for church, I'll be like, hey, give me whatever the kids need to wear so I can, fix it, iron it, whatever. And then the stuff that she picks out of her closet is like the most wrinkled thing that she could find. But again, she does an amazing job, when I'm working, and so I think it's a great balance to try to lessen that load as much as possible when I'm home. So
now we know the division of chores. So Jimmy's in the laundry room and then LJ's probably in the kitchen cooking while he's washing
Washing
the
dishes.
clothes
or ironing.
or ironing.
Ironing.
Don't worry, in a few years the kids can start helping already with the chores, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and they've actually started a little bit. Well, like Ian will have his days where he wants to cook. So he'll cook. Fiona helps with Kason. But then they get babysit. They're expensive babysitters. But at the
Very expensive.
They require payment.
Yes.
yeah, that's why she's on, she'll be on her, because she's into makeup now. I don't let her wear makeup every day. It's just for when she makes her videos. And kids their age now, they have in TikTok, so they see all
Yes.
she has more updated makeup than me. But she'll say yeah, I'm not like other kids. I don't ask my parents for money because I use my own money. So, wow, so magaling yung money.
Oo nga, saan pa galing yung pera?
Kaya yung mga, minsan, but she'll watch, or she's a really good babysitter, but sometimes she'll be like, Mom, how much? Because I'm like, okay, can you watch him, but do not bother me for a whole hour. Like, don't ask for anything, no, for a whole hour. She goes, okay, well, how much though? But in fairness, she'll time it and like will not bother me for an hour. But then if you ask her to watch them, and she'll watch even if we don't.
Okay, mataas yung going rate.
Mataas
Yes,
yung going rate. Pag
for sure.
ayaw mo pa-disturb, yun, may pay.
Yun na yung extra. But LJ, do you sometimes miss, filming, doing movies,
Oh my
doing
gosh.
TV shows?
I super miss it. I super miss it. That's why I like, there's days, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, this is where God wants us to be. So I have to make sure, I'm present in this season. But yeah, I miss it a lot. So right now, this season, siya muna.
Baka when you're on vacation here.
Yun nga, it's like when I'm in vacation, I was telling Hazel, like friends from the industry also, I'm like, yeah, if there's any guestings, I'm like I want to go and actually work because I miss it. I really do. I miss it. I miss getting made up. I miss being on the set. So hopefully when I go home.
But it's so much fun seeing you also on your socials. Like, at least somehow that's also still kind of like camera work or...
That's the thing. Like, people would ask me, especially out here, they're like, how do you have time to do? I'm like, you know what? To me, that's my stress reliever. I have fun doing that because I kind of feel like, I'm still doing what I used to do in a way, you know what I mean? But reality this time, and I just joke about it because I'm tired, but then, I'll make up little skits and all that stuff. And then at least like now, because we have my director before, me and Danica had a show Happy Wife before, and our director lives here now. And then our other partner, and then Rufa May also lives here. So
nearby.
Ivan, yeah. And then Hazel, who's from GMA, also based here na rin. So we all partnered together, and then we shoot the Wonder Mamas, which is a YouTube channel. But lately, because Jimmy's been in season, and there's no one to watch the kids, we haven't been able to do that. So now we're doing live stream on my Facebook like every Saturday. Yeah, so we just lang kamustahan lang and all that stuff.
So there's still a chance. But the way you were describing also the kids, they're all very athletic. But
Yes.
do any of them show any maybe inclinations towards showbiz, performing?
Yeah, my youngest. The 1 year.
And our
The
daughter-
1-year-old.
daughter
My
also.
daughter. Yeah,
It's very natural for our daughter. I mean, she's LJ's twin. Like she looks exactly
Yes, she
like
does.
she looks like a young LJ,
yeah,
but
she's really
she's just. I mean,
She's excited to go to the Philippines. She's been doing dance class on Zoom since she's been with her teacher's guy since the pandemic. She was 5, right, when we left Manila. But she continued doing the dance class on Zoom. And they have like a recital every summer. And Kiona joins it, pero nasa big screen lang siya. But this time, this year, she'll
Should be here.
Yeah, so she's very excited.
and it's natural for her too, Pia. I mean, all of our kids are amazing, but it's very natural for our daughter when it comes to performing, and so and she has fun with it. Like that's, to me, as her dad, like that's the most important thing, that she's having fun and that she enjoys doing it. And so, we tell her all the time, mom and dad are here to support you, and you go there and you do your best, and then you have fun. That's kind of what we encourage all of our kids. So whatever it is that they choose, whether it's basketball or another sport, I'm thankful that being here in the States, they have opportunities to kind of venture out and try different sports. So
Oh, well, it's great to see how you guys are all adjusting so well. I mean, like you said, it's not without its challenges, but it's great to see you guys. And really thank you for giving us this time. We just have a quick game to play, if that's okay. It's like
sure, let's do it.
less than 5 minutes.
Coming down right now, so she's here. I got you. Sure, that is-
Right.
Is it Kaylin?
It's Kaylin, the 6-year-old.
Oh, sorry we disturbed you. This will be super quick. This game is just called Mr. or Mrs. Alapag. I'll give an adjective and then you'll say if this is Mr. Alapag or this is Mrs. Alapag.
Got
Okay?
it.
So the first, disciplinarian.
Mrs. Alapag.
That was quick. And LJ said that already earlier.
Yep.
Who is the spoiler?
Oh,
Mr.
Mr. Alapag. Easy.
So if you want something, if you want
They come
something,
to
you
Dada.
ask Daddy.
They come to
Okay.
Dada for sure.
Oh, this one. Who's the more serious one?
Oh, Mr. Alapag.
Are you more serious?
Really?
Yeah, I always try to get him to do reels with me, but he won't.
Oh, but I saw one that you did. You got Jimmy
Yeah.
to dance with you guys.
Because that was like a birthday / was it Mother's a Christmas / birthday gift. That was I'm like I just want you to shoot a reel with me.
So mga once a year pala, pwede.
Para mga one thing.
Oh, so who's the comedian? Automatic. Mrs. Alapag.
Mr. Alapag, for sure.
Who is friend to the kids?
Mr.
Yeah,
Alapag.
Mr. Alapag.
Mr. Alapag. Okay. Part of the gang.
Yep.
Who is the cook?
Oh, Mrs. Alapag.
Budget officer. Finance officer.
Mrs. Alapag.
Yeah, that's why when the kids want something, they go to him.
They go
because
to him.
he's always like, no, I don't have money. Why don't we always not have money?
Who is the more emotional parent?
Mr. Alapag.
Mr. Alapag.
Yes.
Oh, so you'd be first to cry at like graduation and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually the dad, no? I wonder why. Okay, the dads that you least expect. Okay, who has the last say when an issue arises?
Mr. Alapag.
That's it. So like,
Mrs. Alapag doesn't
I'll
seem
give
to
it to
think
you.
so.
I'll give it to you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Alapag, for taking time out from your very, very busy schedule to be with us. A happy Father's Day to you, Jimmy. Before we wrap things up, LJ, maybe we can ask you for your Father's Day message to Jimmy.
Well, thank you for being such a great dad and a great husband, and just know that we'll always be here to support you, even when it's hard. But we're here to support you all the way, and we love you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love you guys too.
Thank you. And also, maybe you guys have a message for your followers, following your journey, whether here from the beginning and now that you're still there in the US.
Well, Pia, I would just say to everyone who's supported LJ and the kids and I, we appreciate the love, the support, and most especially the prayers. A lot of challenges, a lot of unexpected challenges the last few years, making the transition from leaving Manila to here in the US. But we continue to trust God's plan for our family, and incredibly thankful to be here in Sacramento. I wish all the Filipino basketball fans could feel the energy of the basketball community here in Sacramento, because it's one and the same. And that is definitely one of the coolest parts, that of all the places that God could place our family, it feels like the Philippines, because the same way the community here loves, the Kings, is the same way Filipinos love basketball.
Yeah, it's like, because I used to always love it when they'd make it in the finals. But when they were in Talk and Text, they had back, because I like the lights out and the fire. Because ngayon, every regular game, may lights out and fireworks. So, that's one thing that I like about when I'm like, even if it's a regular game, I feel like it's like Talk and Text and Hinebra in the finals every time, because it's
Championship levels na.
Always. So yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So to everyone, again, it means a lot to have had everybody's support, and just extremely appreciative and thankful for the support. So happy Father's Day to all the single moms and all the fathers out there too as well.
Yeah, same thing. Jimmy said it all, but again, thank you so much to all our followers and subscribers, the ones that have been there from when we were still in Manila all the way to us being here in the US. I see the messages. I just can't reply to all of it, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the messages of encouragement that you send us. And yeah, I hope you continue to join us in our journey. I used to put out vlogs twice a week, but lately it's been once a week. Kasi guys, ako din po yung nag-edit. So, yeah, wala talaga. So yeah, I hope you continue to support us on YouTube and on Facebook. Yeah.
And where can we catch you on your socials?
Oh yeah. My Instagram is @lollykakeschick @jalapag3. And then on YouTube, please follow Alapag Family Fun. Also on Facebook, Alapag Family Fun. My personal Facebook page is LJ Moreno-Alapag. And also, please follow the Wonder Mamas and Mabuhay Studios on YouTube and Facebook.
Thank you so much, Jimmy and LJ.
All right,
Thanks,
Pia,
you
great to see you.
guys.
All right,
Great to
take care.
see you. This surprise was planned by the team of Ronald Ramido and Orby de los Reyes, edited by Shirley Paghiligan, with the amazing people of GMA Integrated News. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till the next surprise.